have a chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my beautiful co-host Judy Loge and Veronique Arsenault. Good afternoon, ladies.
We're all together.
We're all together. The three of us are here. A rare occasion lately, just with our lives being so busy and helter-skelter. It was that time of year, for sure. We've got a great show lined up for our viewers today, so you're not going to want to miss it. Please stay tuned. But we're going to start off our show like we always do with a positive quote. And I believe, Judy, you're up today.
Yeah, and I chose this one because today is Martin Luther King Jr.'s.
Oh, yes.
It's his birthday.
Okay.
And they've made it a U.S. federal holiday as well.
Oh, really? Okay, perfect.
So that's...
we should have it as a holiday.
Yeah.
We should. Let's just all have to move to another country.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the quote goes, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy."
True.
That's the ultimate measure of a man, and I'd say a woman too.
Yeah.
Well, it's true because it's not easy, but it's easier when things are going well to stand tall and to be, supportive of others and all of that.
Definitely.
But when times are tough or a little bit tougher, it's harder to,
Be strong.
yeah.
Yeah, and
It is.
people I'm okay with in times of a little bit of stress, I cope well, but my husband is extremely well. Like I look up to him as being my rock.
Well, I
Yes.
mean, he's beyond though.
Yeah. Well, he would deal with quite a lot
Yeah.
of different kinds of issues. But it's so hard to stand up there despite all of that and it's so easy just to, avoid it
Right.
so that you don't have to deal with it
Yeah,
and feel all
absolutely.
of that. But I mean, that goes across the board for men and women and teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
It's exam week right now
Yeah.
for them, so I can only imagine.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck to
Yes.
all of the students who today was the first day for my youngest daughter's exam. So I wish her the best of luck, but I could see the stress and see all of it and her wanting to not have to deal with it and avoid it altogether. But there's just some things in life that you just have to stand up and face the music.
Well, you have to get through exams. You have to do
Absolutely.
a lot of
You
things
know?
you don't want to do, but you do.
No, but you know what? It can make you stronger.
That's
It
right.
can make you a better person all around to be able to face those things and be able to hold your head up.
Absolutely.
And who was stronger than Martin Luther King Jr.?
Oh,
True,
absolutely.
true.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are in the throes of winter for sure, definitely. And we want to bring up Newfoundland this past weekend. Wow.
I
A
don't
state of
even-
emergency.
I don't even know. I can't even comprehend what that much snow looks like.
We were
No,
watching,
no.
we were all tuned in to see
Yes,
the disaster. Well,
definitely.
state of emergency has been declared the first time in 30 years, actually.
Yeah.
Someone actually posted on Facebook a video of 24
Oh,
hours.
the time lapse video.
Yeah, the time lapse. In
Yeah.
30 seconds,
How much snow came
how much
down?
snow came down in 20. And at first when I was watching it, I'm like, oh, that doesn't look so bad. And then it
yeah.
literally,
Covered their house.
yes.
70 what? In most places, 70
76.
plus,
Yeah.
and the airport was
Yeah.
75 or 6.
Definitely crippled them.
And the winds.
Yeah, and I heard. So I was listening to the radio this morning, and so I think there was like 76 centimeters, like where they measured the most or whatever, and that beat the record. In 1999, it was 68, which is massive.
Massive.
Yes, that's massive as well.
But yeah, 76 centimeters. I can't even. We got like 10 to 15 yesterday, and I was like,
we
that's
are
enough.
blessed.
We are not going to say boo. We have been very, very lucky here
Very.
in Miramichi in New Brunswick overall for our winter thus far, being the middle of January.
We're halfway
So-
through winter.
Definitely. So our thoughts are with everyone in Newfoundland that they stay safe and stay warm. I did hear a story of a man who was missing. God willing, they've been able to locate him. And that there's still quite a few without power.
Yes, a lot of
Yeah,
right?
it's still everything's still shut down.
Okay.
The pharmacies aren't allowed to open. The only
Okay.
thing that's allowed to open today in most of Newfoundland are the gas stations for emergency
Okay.
vehicles.
Vehicles, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
people are asked not to leave their homes, and nothing's open.
I have a friend there that's on business, and he travels and goes every 5 weeks for a week at a time. And I texted him this morning, and he's right in St. John's. He's been rebooked 4 times to get out of Newfoundland. He can't get out, and he said the hotel staff cannot leave the
No.
hotel, and they're running short on supplies at the hotel
sure.
for everything, food, toiletries.
I never
all
even thought of
Yeah.
that.
So he said it's beyond all. He's been showing me pictures of him trying to look out the window, but you can't even see because of the blustering wind. So David,
The winds
all
make
the
it
best
an
getting
issue.
home, and it's incredible. And there's a baby born, ironically,
Yeah, I did hear
with
that.
the last
Was
name
there?
Snow.
Oh, you're kidding.
Can you even believe
I thought maybe they named the baby
No,
Snow.
his last
but
name
his
is
last name
Snow.
is Snow? Okay.
So that's pretty
Is
ironic.
that the one where she took the snowmobile to the hospital?
That was one woman that had to go by snowmobile. This person had help getting out of her driveway by 15 neighbors that tried to come together and successfully did get her out.
Wow.
That's just it. I'm sure there's going to be lots more stories and
yeah.
pictures and videos coming from Newfoundland that will
And
stay
9
tuned.
months from now, we'll see a little flurry of babies.
Oh, yes,
Maybe.
we will.
Yeah,
no
for
pun
sure, for
intended
sure.
for the flurry.
Exactly.
That's a cute one.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So there was lots that happened here this past weekend as well. The hospital gala.
Hospital gala went very well. It was decorated so beautifully.
I've
did
seen
see
lots
some
of pictures from
pictures,
that as well. Everyone looked lovely. It was
Yes,
gorgeous.
they all did, and the theme was black magic, but
Okay.
it was just the beautiful fresh roses on each table, fresh cut roses, which
Oh, you're kidding.
was really gorgeous because the tables had the black on the back with the red crossing in the back like a velour. It was so pretty. And again, I mean, when you're giving to the hospital, you're giving to pretty much anyone and everyone that enters there for
That's
whatever
right.
reason they're in there for. Equipment
Absolutely.
has to go in every part of the hospital,
Yeah.
every floor, every
right.
unit. So we're thankful to anyone who contributed and attended, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
a full house.
Yeah,
Cool,
absolutely.
cool.
And I'm going to say hi to Mom and Lottie again.
Hi,
today.
Mom and Lottie.
Hi,
Yes.
Mom and Lottie. They're watching. They're hanging out together, watching the show. So
Today.
yeah.
Oh, well, good afternoon. Stay bundled up because this is talking a little bit about the weather and the gala and stuff like that. We're about to plummet for temperatures.
Yeah.
In the next 24 hours,
So
the
sick
winds
of
are going to
cold.
come up, and we are going to get our full-on taste. It's going to feel like minus 30 tonight-ish or whatever.
Okay,
so
okay.
bundle up and stay safe and stay warm.
Yes, be
For
prepared.
sure. Yeah, be
Yeah.
prepared. Definitely. Another thing that we want to bring up is the charity trivia night that's coming
Yeah.
up. We don't want people to miss this because they're looking for teams, I believe.
They are looking
Okay.
for teams, Audrey, and as Veronique said, she hasn't heard a whole lot about it yet, so
No,
we're trying to
okay.
promote this
I
for
know.
the
When is it?
cause. Well,
Okay.
first of all, the money is going to the Miramichi Refugee Committee. And
Okay.
we know that that's a very important cause, and I've met a lot of the Syrian refugees, and they're beautiful people that need help. So this charity trivia night is this Saturday evening, which is January 25th at 7 p.m. at the Knights of Columbus in Chatham. 15 teams are going to be competing, but we still would love more. Doors open at 6:30 for it to begin at 7, so get there at 6:30. $10 is all that's required per team and 6 players per team. And to book your team, call 627-6867. So that's to book your team, 627-6867. It would be fun. It's a fundraiser, and if you're good at trivia, jump right in there.
Or even if
Trivia
you
is
just
always
love
wonderful.
gaming,
Yeah.
like games and things like that, because this is like a Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy kind of thing.
Sure. Well,
trivia is always
because you
fabulous.
played.
Yeah,
Molly,
I
played.
do tip. I have been going lately, like the last few months, to trivia nights, and they're a lot of fun. So,
Yes, you're
you know,
good at
yeah.
it too.
No,
I'm not really good at it unless it's music or fashion.
no. I was able to answer the Miramichi category the last time.
Oh, I can maybe
Okay, so they
that.
do the questions up in categories.
They do, yeah.
Or whatever. Do you
So
get
it
to know
depends
what
on-
they
it
are
dep-
ahead of time?
No, it depends on who how they've organized it and stuff.
Okay.
Like the last one I was at, so Miramichi was a category. Music's always a good music from the '90s, movies from the '80s,
Right.
that kind of stuff. So it's
I like
Okay.
that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, sports typically. So
Oh,
usually
Lord.
there's somebody. You try
I'm
and
out
stack
sports.
your team.
You
So-
try to stack your
Yeah,
team.
so that there's like a really
Oh.
good sports person on the
Person.
Someone
team.
all rounded on the team.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
helpful.
There's a cash bar, there's a 50-50 raffle, and
Oh,
there's
nice.
a prize for the first, second, and third place
Oh,
winners.
great.
Oh,
So-
and we're doing this at the Knights of Columbus,
Knights of Columbus
in
in Chatham. So you just have to Google it. I don't have the address in front of me. Just punch in GPS.
Just on
Knights
King
of
Street.
Columbus, King Street,
Yep.
at
Right.
7 p.m. on Saturday night.
That sounds like a
Sign
really
up
fun night.
and call.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and it's
Trivia
a
is
good
always fun.
charity. It is, definitely. So, in other news, Harry and Meghan.
Again.
I know
it's
it's all
never
over
ending.
Facebook, and a lot of people are probably tired of seeing it and talking about it. So, what exactly is the issue? Because
Well, they just kind of caught them off guard
Okay.
last week when they announced that they didn't want to be senior royals anymore, that they were
okay, so
stepping
they
back.
made this announcement.
Yeah, they didn't tell anybody. They made it on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think it caught the royal.
But I'm assuming the royal family were aware
Well,
of
there's
this.
there was
the
some
Queen?
like rough stuff going on as far as their relationship went,
Yeah,
and
they
they
didn't
were,
tell
you know,
anyone.
under the table stuff and animosity going on, and they were just plainly unhappy with living the life that they were living,
Yeah.
of being in the monarchy, and
So they're
and
moving to
having
Canada.
right?
What? So they're gonna do? Yeah, they're gonna split their time between the UK and Canada. and they want to earn their own. So the reason why they've stepped away, right? So as a royal, you can't earn your own money. You're supported by public funds. So they've stepped away. They can't take jobs if you're royal. So they've stepped away from being senior royals, and they're going to earn their own money and support themselves. And it was interesting. I saw the statement. I read the statement that Harry made, his first since the break, I guess. And he said, you know, they also didn't realize how much there was involved in stepping away. They had hoped to be able to still participate in the charities that they were involved with and everything, which they can't.
And his military stripes he wanted
You
to
think
wear.
he would have researched some
You'd
of
think,
that?
but I think
or
it's a
whatever?
first, though, really. I mean, you know, for him stepping away. But yeah, they want to work. They want to earn their own money. But like, I mean, let's be honest. They're worth about $35 million combined, so they're not struggling.
No.
They're not going to get minimum wage jobs.
But the palace did strip them of their titles.
Yeah.
They are no longer royalty.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know,
They're still Duke and Duchess, but they don't go by Her Royal Highness.
no, they won't. And whereas Diana, even though she had passed away, like divorced the Prince Charles, she was still the Duchess.
But yeah, but it's the same. They did the same thing to her as they're going to do to them. Is that they'll still keep they will be Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, rather than Her Royal Highness.
But Fergie's title was taken completely away.
Yeah,
she was.
Well, that's a divorce.
Yeah,
That's a divorce and a separation or
But
whatever.
so was
that
Diana's
seems to
and Charles. But she still kept a title. It wasn't Her Royal Highness, but she still was Diana of Wales.
Yeah, they lost that Royal Highness piece. Yeah.
Well, the part that I had watched when I was watching CNN and reading the Queen's actual statement itself, that she does support them in their decision to step away.
I think she's got no options at this point because they've done it.
Okay.
Right? That came after.
They wanted both, though. It was kind of from the palace. You're either in or you're out, and they took the out. They took the out.
Yeah. So they had already announced it before, like she found out, like with everybody else. So they, I think she had no options. But
I'm happy.
I think I can sort of understand, though. You're either in or you're out. How can you? Have
they want. He loves the UK. He said it's always my home. I love where I grew up. I love the people I've connected to and all the charities I'm involved with. And he served in the military in Afghanistan and all of that. His ties and love still lies there, but he's here to protect his wife and children and want a normal, so-called normal life, even though they'll be making appearances at all of these big events.
The definition of normal for them is
still going to be abnormal.
Still going to be
very different.
They're going to be, there's Harry, and every time they move, wherever they go.
So what's his father saying?
Nothing so far.
I haven't heard. Okay,
no,
I haven't heard him
so
say
far.
boo.
I think the only statement you'll get is what the Queen said. We support them. I don't think you'll get anything more than that.
No, I'm happy for them.
Yeah, they're trying to. I think probably end that whole.
But you know what? I think it's going to be a blueprint now. I think that down the road, when William's children are older, they're going to say, I don't want to do this either. I think when they become adults, they will say, that's what we don't want. We're going to follow William. Follow not William, follow Harry.
And if you think about it, I mean, Harry was never gonna be king.
He's not the line.
You know, he's not in the like in succession.
The lineup, no.
Right.
So I mean, you know, I can see it. I mean, he was always the second son, right? So he was never going to be king unless something dramatic happened. So why not forge his own path?
I think it'll set a precedence. I really do. I think it'll be something that the other children, Charlotte and little Georgie, Porgy, and they're so cute.
No, exactly.
They'll maybe follow
You
suit.
can tell us what your thoughts and opinions are. We have a Facebook page for our Have a Chat. We'd love to hear what our viewers have to say about our show and about our little chit-chats that we have here at the beginning of the show. We're going to move on to a thought-provoking question.
Oh, yes.
That's how we're going to end this before we bring on our wonderful guests
I
today.
do.
Okay, Veronique's got one for us.
Veronique's going to start thought-provoking question for our viewers. Yeah,
so
definitely.
this one I really had to think about, to be honest.
Dear
Okay, because we haven't heard it.
No.
We haven't heard each other. We haven't shared any of this to each other.
So, when will you be good enough for you? Is there some breaking point where you will accept everything about yourself?
I think when I'm able to say no. Like I started saying no to some things because I thought I'm at that age now where I feel I can do that. I can make up my own mind. If I'm invited somewhere and I truly don't want to go, but I'm expected to go, I'm not going if I don't want to go. I've made up my mind about those things.
Yeah.
And I think I'll be good enough when I get a new body and a new brain.
So reread that one more time for me. Just.
When will you be good enough for you? Is there some breaking point where you will accept everything about yourself?
For me, I'd have to say I am right here, right now, good enough for me.
Good. Beautiful.
The way I'm looking at that is that I'm never going to stop growing. I'm never going to stop trying to be a better person than I was the day before, that there's always room for growth.
Yeah.
But you should be happy and content with who you are right here, right now, as a person, as a human being.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes
where
easier said than
I have to
done.
say.
Very much easier said than
But
done.
good for you.
True.
Absolutely.
True.
Absolutely.
But I've made
you're
that
content.
decision that I am good enough for me.
Yes.
Good.
I
Right
think
here,
I am
right
too,
now.
really. I
You
mean, like
know?
I said, I can start saying no more, but then I'll be happier when I start breaking away from some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
What about you, girl?
I don't have that thing where I'll be happier when I get somewhere or when I get something. I'm struggling still with accepting some stuff about myself and what decisions I've made and how I've gotten to where I am. But I'm not there yet. I'm happy. I know that I will be happier, but it's not a destination for me. It's an everyday thing.
The good
No,
answer.
no, exactly. So we have got 2 more minutes before we go to break and bring on our lovely guests. So I'm going to start with my question. You can save yours in case we don't have
Oh,
time.
no, I don't. You can
Yeah?
go right ahead. I don't
Okay.
even think I have one.
If you could teach someone one thing, what would you teach them?
To
One thing.
just be yourself. There's no one else in this world, even an identical twin, that is exactly that person. So I'm always myself. Take me, like me, don't like me. I don't really care. I'm at that age also where I don't care. If you like me, good. And if you love me, even better.
Veronique?
To be kind.
She stole my answer.
Yeah, because it's so many decisions, and you can't always make everybody happy, and I don't mean that. But if you are kind enough to think about how other people will react to a decision, you make a better decision. I think.
No, exactly.
Love
That's
and be
just
kind.
it.
Be yourself.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a short break. We're going to be back with our very first guest, Peggy McLean, who's going to talk to us about her journey through cancer. So don't go away. We'll be back with more after the break. Welcome back to Have a Chat. Joining us now is our first guest, Peggy McLean. Good afternoon, Peggy.
Hello, ladies.
Hello. You're no
Nice to
stranger
see
to
you all
our
together.
set.
I know.
No,
been here a
you're
time or
not.
two.
Yeah, she's always comfortable on set too, which is a nice thing to have a guest be comfortable.
Yes, most definitely. And thank you for joining us today to share with us your story, your journey through cancer. So we're going to start right away. We don't want to waste any time with how this all came about.
Well, I was campaigning, and you're going door to door every day.
That was in the fall.
In the fall.
Okay,
and
we'll do a little timeline here.
Yeah, and I noticed that towards the end, the last few weeks, that when I was literally running from door to door, that I was sore. And I would say to Carolyn, who was going door to door with me almost every single day for those 8-10 hours, I'd say to her, "Oh, remind me tomorrow to wear a sports bra." Because I'm getting
you were sore in the chest.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And I would
Just
say
your
to
whole
her,
body.
remind me tomorrow.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're so tired by the time you finish your day and you fall into bed, and it just becomes a habit. So you get up the next day and you do what you did the day before.
No, and for us women out there, having sore breasts periodically once a month is not rare.
Not
Right,
unusual.
right.
Not unusual.
Especially if
Right.
you're literally physically running
Yes.
for hours every day. So I would get up the next morning, and about half an hour into our door-to-door, I would say to her, "Oh, you forgot to remind me." So
Yes.
anyways, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to that, but I did notice that I had a lump, and I had lumps removed probably 15, 16 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Non-cancerous, yeah. A lot of women are lumpy.
They
you know,
are fibrous,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
and they turn out to be nothing. So I didn't really think too much of it because it was extremely hard. It was like a rock. And I thought, okay.
In the
well,
shower, can I ask? Are you just routinely checking, or you thought you should feel for something?
No, it was very sore, and only in one breast was I particularly
Oh,
sore.
okay.
Right.
And the lump was quite large. So, very large, extremely sore, and I didn't think cancer was sore, and I didn't think that cancer was hard. I thought it was soft, and I thought it was just maybe scar tissue from the surgery that I'd had before. And all these things you dismiss because you start going through your mind, well, nobody in my family has breast cancer.
No.
I breastfed my children. I'm young. I'm healthy. All these reasons why you would talk yourself out of going to get checked.
And it's funny, I'll just stop you right there for a quick second, just because all of us women, I don't know, now that was her perception of what cancer is and is not. And for me, I was like, not painful was definitely something I remember hearing, but for me, it was the opposite. Hard is not good, but soft is good. Pain is not normal.
See, I don't have
you know what I
any
mean? Like, I
reference
feel
to that
like
at all.
You're kidding.
No, I haven't.
See, and
Like,
that's why
that's the first time I've ever heard that. Like either one of those.
I just want to make it so important for women out there who think anything is off or different whatsoever to your normal.
Exactly.
That's my message, is that
Yes.
I had 100 reasons why I should not have gone, and I just mentioned a few of them: no history, young, breastfed, all those things. But there was just something that in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know what? Something just didn't feel right. And I'm like, I really should go get that checked. So I did. I went to my family
So that
doctor.
was what month?
That was in November. That was actually my mom's birthday, November 5th, when I first mentioned to him, I found this lump. And again, I had had lumps removed before, so thinking nothing of it. And I said, well, I think it might be scar tissue. From the time I went to see my family doctor, which would have been November the 5th, I was diagnosed on the 14th.
Wow.
And had my first treatment 5 weeks later. I had my first
incredible.
You're
incredible. I've had
yeah.
incredible care. I've got a phenomenal,
that's so wonderful team.
medical
So
team.
your exact diagnosis is something that's not the typical 2.
No.
Okay.
Typically,
so what,
it's one of the more. It's the rare. Of
The
course, my
rare
girls are like,
form?
well, of course,
Okay.
it couldn't be normal.
Yeah.
And it's aggressive, and they're like, well, of course, because you're kind of aggressive too. So it's triple negative invasive ductal carcinoma.
That's quite a
Say
label.
that 5 times really fast.
That is
That's a big handle.
title.
Yeah,
A big handle.
It's TNBC,
So,
triple negative breast cancer.
And this is going to sound like a stupid question.
No
No,
stupid
that's
questions.
a stupid question.
So when you're told this, you're diagnosed.
Yes.
Are you terrified in that moment?
No.
Or are you numb?
No, I guess maybe it's my personality. It's just like, okay, well, what do we do now? Let's. How quickly can I get my treatment? How quickly can we be through this and move to the other side? So, I could absolutely see where
People lose it.
Yeah, where it would be devastating to people, particularly where I really convinced myself that there was nothing wrong, that it was this or it was that, it was nothing to be worried about. I could definitely see where it would be devastating, and I think it's just probably my personality. And when you were asking what one thing, would you want?
Teach someone.
Yeah, for me it would be just to accept things.
you're
This
very
is what it
strong.
is. This is what it is. Where do we go
What's
from
our
here?
next step?
Yeah.
Well, you have
What's
no
our next
choice,
move?
right? Like when you're given a
Yeah.
diagnosis, we can panic, we can cry, we can flip out, we can say, why me? But we know we're all going to get something. We don't know what it is going to be. It could be
Where
tomorrow,
am
we could have something wrong with our bodies, anything. But what do we do about it? We have to be progressive.
We
Yeah.
can't change. You
Right.
can't change the
No.
diagnosis.
And you can't not do anything.
Exactly.
Right? You have to-
And there's lots of good news. The fact that I did go and the fact that we did catch it early because
That's
it is a
right.
very
Because
aggressive.
that's our next step. What
Yeah.
stage are you at, and what did they
Yeah.
say?
So I'm stage
specifically?
2A, and it's
Okay.
because of the size of the tumor, and they did find a small secondary
Second.
tumor in the
Okay.
same breast. So stage 2A, which is really good. It's a
Good.
very good prognosis.
Okay.
I will have my third treatment, my third chemotherapy treatment
Nice.
on Thursday, which makes me halfway through my treatments.
Oh, wow.
So after we have 6 treatments, we will wait for about 4 weeks, speaking to my surgeon's office this morning, and we'll have a surgery after that. So, and then after that, we're done. Like,
Good,
we're gonna
and
break
summer
up.
will look good.
And you know what? Had I waited, because I really wasn't supposed to have my mammogram until this month.
Oh.
And if I had waited that extra, 2 months, it would be a different story because, we may have been looking at, it could have
different stage.
metastasized. We could have been stage 3 by then, particularly finding the smaller secondary tumors. So I'm just grateful that I listened to that little voice that said, something's not right. And worst case scenario, I went and it was nothing.
And it was nothing.
Peggy,
No.
there's nothing in the lymph nodes. There's nothing.
Nothing.
That's a blessing.
No.
Yep.
That's a
I've
godsend.
had all the tests. I've had MRIs. I've had CAT scans. I've had bone scans.
Beautiful.
Yeah, as I said, I've had exceptional care. I really, really have.
How are you finding the treatments?
The first one was, I went from taking no medication whatsoever
Yeah.
to having chemotherapy, and I had a couple of rough days. And my team has been, again, phenomenal. And they changed my anti-nausea meds after my second one.
Nausea.
What a game changer for me.
So when you say rough, can you tell our viewers, what is it you are physically experiencing that makes it rough?
It was the nausea, the cramping, the sweats, and the waves of that in the bathroom. And when I was going through that, and I'm, you're sick and you're just sick. And I thought to myself, there are babies that go through this. There are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, and it just broke my heart to think that I'm able to process what's going on.
Talk
that,
about it.
This is going to pass. That this is part of my healing process. But children just are not able to. They don't know
they
why.
live in the moment.
Yeah, and they don't know
right?
why they're that sick. So it was a real humbling experience for me that way. So
How long have you? So you've improved though, like
Yes.
with the change in meds, that's
Yep.
improved.
very much so.
And then how long do you go between treatments?
3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a good stretch, thankfully.
It is. They give me 3 different, I call it a cocktail, they give me 3 different types every 3 weeks. And
It seems like it gives you that week to not be feeling good, and then a week to start feeling better, and then have a week of feeling good before they turn around
Yes. Yeah.
and administer
And it's not
the
that you don't
next.
experience any symptoms in those 3 weeks because
No.
the chemo is still working.
True.
And I, of course, get the random ones like the hiccups and, my nose runs and all those. I'm like,
are
what is that?
symptoms.
Yeah.
Those
They
are
are.
symptoms.
Yeah, they're
I'm just
symptoms.
curious, when you said that it was diagnosed, it was large, and you were sore, but so if it was large, you didn't think to feel that and notice it before it actually got sore. Like what I'm saying is you were sore, but you didn't think to press on there and see what was different until it was large.
It was just, I was so busy.
Ah.
I was so busy, and us as women, we always put ourselves last. Everybody else is before us, and you're busy doing things, and life gets
Right.
in your way. So
Well, I mean, you were in the midst of a rather large political campaign at the
yes,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
and still
You were
being
busy.
mom, and still being
Yeah.
grandma,
Christmas
being
was around the
wife,
corner.
and
Oh my
There was
gosh.
another baby coming. Christmas
I
was around the
know.
corner.
Our youngest daughter was just diagnosed with
Yes.
a brain tumor, so
Yeah.
yeah,
She's
I
doing
felt
okay.
like
There was
She's
a lot.
doing amazingly well. Yeah, it was benign. Yes,
And you have an
Yes.
amazing support system in your immediate family.
we're pretty tight.
Like you are, and
We are.
that is a godsend, really.
really
you could have
is.
people, you could be a single mom, you could be a widow, you could be whatever, but you have a beautiful family that
Blessed.
just keeps you up, right? And you keep
Absolutely.
them up because they were so worried about you that you
Yes.
had to console them to a degree.
And that's it, like we're just, everybody feeds off everybody and
Yeah.
your energy and whatnot. And, I've told my kids, I've told my husband, like this too shall pass. This is good news.
Wonderful.
We caught it early. We're going to be fine. That, in a few months from now, I'll be saying, now I'm a cancer survivor. I can add that to who I am.
No.
And I know many, many, many cancer survivors. I can't start naming them all. There's so many.
No, you've chosen to take a positive path
Yes.
with your outlook on this whole thing, even though it's technically you're right at the beginning of it all, in the throes of it all. Tell us a little bit to the viewers to the stuff that's not so nice that you're experiencing as well going through this, that you've joined a group online,
Yes.
right?
Oh.
A support group.
Yep.
You've been I don't doubt you've been Googling and researching things to
Constant.
death or whatever.
Well, I'm an information person. I think that
Right.
information is power.
Yeah.
Okay.
And while I rely on my medical team, of course, I'm blessed to have a son-in-law who's a doctor.
That's
who,
right.
Yes, he's been great.
That's
although,
helpful.
yeah,
That's helpful.
you would know. Although they live in Vancouver, it's great to be able to bounce things off
Yeah.
of him, and it's a journey for him too. He's family medicine,
sure.
so it's a learning process for both of us. But as far as some of the negative things go, I would say, tired. I just find that frustrating for me. I'm just annoyed by the whole thing because I'm so busy in life.
You don't have time
I
for
don't
this?
have time for this.
be
Exactly.
tired.
I just don't have
away.
time. I don't have time for all of this. I just. And I guess when I was diagnosed, I guess my reaction was, well, I guess we're going to do this now. I guess
Yeah.
this is it.
I
We're
guess
going
this is
to do
it.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to do this now.
Something
so,
new,
No.
right?
Yeah.
For the new year. Right.
Have you found though, and it's interesting because I had no concept of this until recently because of my own journey through mom's health. How has it had an impact on how your family's coping with and what I mean is it's funny when mom was first going for her surgery, everybody kept saying take care of yourself, and I was like, no, it's fine. But it's taken a toll on me.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yes.
what are you seeing in your family right now?
And I guess I was cognizant of that because I cared for my dad for the 6 months before my dad passed. And caretaker fatigue is crushing.
real thing.
It's crushing. So I'm very mindful of that. And I had said early on when I was first diagnosed, our youngest one, Erica, was actually over in the Netherlands visiting her boyfriend. So we tried to keep it as quiet as we could so she wouldn't find out while she was away. And while I worry about my oldest daughter who's just had a baby, so she's sleep deprived, and you worry about postpartum. My son-in-law, you know, Nick, whose mom passed from cancer. I worry about my hubby, obviously, and I worry about Aaron, who's away, and my son, who lives in Vancouver.
And everything.
Yeah, and I said, I guess with Erica, because she's the youngest, and I said, she's got a front row seat because she still lives at home, so I worry about her. And you're right, there is a real, and I guess because we're very vocal in our house, that, you know, it's nothing for her to say to me, you need to sit down because you're stressing me out. You know, and, you know, I need to reminded sometimes that it's not just me, that when I do overdo
and
it,
hard,
and I'm
because you're trying to get through this, right?
And I just want to be normal.
And you're you know, waging your thing every day, and so it's hard to have that thought about, oh yeah, that's right, you know, she's also with me.
And she moms me now. Like my girls mom me now. They're like, oh, did you get your nap today? Did you take a nap? Did you? It's sweet.
Can I just interrupt, because I know Audrey's your stylist for your hair.
She is.
That would be, you might as well say, a very hard thing. You had beautiful hair, gorgeous hair, and you kept it long. And then Audrey, I noticed, cut it really sweetly short. And then how long into your treatment did you lose your hair? Because some people do and some people don't. Is it because it's more aggressive that they did a stronger chemo?
Stronger chemo.
To cause the hair loss in a shorter time?
Yes, stronger chemo. The type of chemo that they gave me, when they were giving me the chemo, she said, okay, so this is affectionately named the Red Devil. And she said, this is the one that's going to cost you your hair. And I'm like, okay, well, how long? And she said, you lose your hair within 2 weeks. And that was with my first treatment.
But it might come back like Veronique's.
Absolutely.
It might come back as a beautiful
Mean, because I have heard of other women who have gone through the same, and they had like poker straight brown hair, and they grew back curly red hair.
They call it the chemo curl.
Yeah, you'll get that. You will.
And knowing that I was going to lose my hair, I reached out to Audrey and I said, let's just cut it short, because I have Luca, who's only 2, and I'm like, I want him to get used to seeing me in different, you know, to
Your
kind of,
grandbaby,
exactly. So anyways, Audrey and I and my girls come over, and we had a bottle of wine. She closed the salon. We had a bottle of wine. She cut my hair off.
She'd be excellent at that.
Yes, she's been phenomenal. Audrey's been phenomenal.
There's got to be a bottle of wine involved.
Well, one of the things that Peggy chose to do, and I agreed with her that I thought was really a good idea, is I don't think other people, let alone the woman herself who was diagnosed, how traumatic this is going to be for her to be standing in her shower, washing her own hair, and having large amounts of hair come out, whether she's combing it or this or that. When you go to shampoo it, it's a whole other difference. So we chose to, she was going to come in every couple of days, and I was going to wash it, and it was going to be in my sink, so that when we got back to the mirror, and then we decided as we did those shampoos and sets, when it was going to be. And
the right
unfortunately
time to shave
it didn't take long, and I was prepared regardless, because they don't want a cancer patient shaving their own head.
Correct. I got to get that message out.
Do not shave your own head if you don't have to, because if you injure yourself,
infection.
Oh,
I never thought
right?
that.
Because you don't have your autoimmune system has been compromised because of the
I
treatment.
never thought of that.
Yes.
Good
So
point.
the second shampoo and set, I just said to her, I said, okay. And before we get back to the mirror, I said, today's the day.
Well, I knew that when I got up that morning. I actually started losing my hair on Christmas Day, which was upsetting for my family. And it's, for me, I'm comfortable with my bald head.
And
I have a pretty head.
You have a
I was
pretty
really
head.
worried that maybe my mom might have
What
dropped
if
me a
my
couple
head
of times
shaped
and I got barked up. I'm like,
right.
oh, what if I have a really ugly head? But I have a pretty head.
You sound like you're Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, so I'm okay with it. But I think for my family, and this is the important thing, I think for my family, and those who are closest to me, when you lose your hair, because everybody said to me, oh, you don't look sick. I'm like, I know, if it weren't for this damn cancer, I'd be perfectly healthy. You know? But I didn't look sick. And I think that once you lose your hair, it's a reminder of
you can't hide it as well.
Because most people do equate, you know, particularly with women, a bald head with cancer.
But you're styling yourself. Like, you're taking
That's
your
my
pride,
Erica.
you're looking good, and you're doing
Putting
your
yourself
makeup,
out.
and you're feeling good about Peggy,
Yes.
and your positive attitude.
Yes.
All of
And
the
on
above.
the days that you don't feel good, it's okay not to wear your makeup too, and to stay in your pajamas all day.
Giddy
You know
up.
what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
definitely, for
Cuddle
sure.
up.
But we want to mention before we end our segment is you were at the hospital this morning,
I was. And we got great news.
okay.
Now, because of the type of cancer I have, they thought there might be a genetic component. So I was tested for the BRCA, which is BRCA, and it's a mutation which would impact not just me, my sisters, and my children and my grandchildren.
because this is a genetic thing.
It is a genetic thing. So had I tested positive, there was a strong possibility that my children, my grandchildren, and my sisters also carried it and would be vulnerable to not just breast cancer. They said it's not the one that's going to kill you. With BRCA, it's the ovarian cancer, because typically when you are symptomatic, it's too late. So anyways, we tested negative.
That's
So
fantastic.
yes, it's great
News.
news. Great news.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Peggy, for coming on our show
You're
today.
gonna be good.
Sharing
You're gonna
your
be fine.
story.
Yes.
Thank you for our viewers. We'll be back after the break. Don't go away. We have more Have a Chat. Welcome back to Have a Chat. Our second guest joining us now are RJ Power and Valerie Underhill. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Nice to have you.
Got a full show today.
Yeah.
Very full show today.
Very
We
full
want to first off say thank you for joining us today. And you're here to chat with us a little bit about a new group called The Power for Pets. So first we want you to tell us a little bit about yourselves in case there's anybody out there who doesn't know who you are.
Okay, for those of you who don't know me, my name is RJ Power. I'm the founder of Power for Pets. I'm married to Paul Power, who is my sidekick in my cat rescuing endeavors. I am the mother of 2. I have 3 beautiful grandchildren. And for those of you that follow my Facebook page, I'm AKA the Lipstick Lady. So, so fortunately for me, on my group for Power for Pets is the cosmetic manager from Shippers.
So I know very well. Yes.
Yes, Valerie.
Everybody knows me as Shoppers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Valerie Underhill, married to Derek Underhill, and RJ contacted me one day to get on board with her pet pantry. So I was all about that because I love pets.
All pets, or particularly it's cats that
It's
we're
cats,
wanting
yeah.
to focus on, right? This is the main.
There's 2 parts to Power
Okay.
for Pets.
Okay, so we'll start with you then, RJ. Tell us a little bit about how this came about and why.
Well, first of all, Power for Pets. The Power stands for Pet Owners Without Enough Resources. So the Animal Control Officer, Tony LeBlanc, and also Mackenzie McDonald of Pet Value. Number one, he recognized that there's a need out there for pet owners to have some support to be able to feed their animals instead of rehoming, or and also Mackenzie being a store manager where food gets expired but is still good.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And hungry.
It's shelf expired,
Yeah,
but
shelf
still
expired.
edible for.
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Thank you, Audrey. So they knew that there was a need there and something they could do. So Tony, knowing my personality, that I'm passionate about animals and I get enthusiastic and I always see things through, he invited me to kind of meet up with them, kind of have a little chat, and kind of like what we're doing now. And so anyhow, the idea came from there. So, so that was distributing food to pet owners that didn't have hidden
So
financial
that's
Okay.
fantastic. How did you, or how did Tony, I guess, or how did all of you identify that someone might need some extra help feeding their pets?
Because when you're, I think, rescuing animals, and sometimes I believe there was one situation in particular that he told me about that someone got reported for abusing their animal and not feeding it, and that wasn't
Okay.
the case. When he got there, the little bit that they had, which was probably hamburger and whatever else, they were making like a hash, he said, to feed their dog.
Okay.
They were not abusing their dog. They were down on their luck.
They were doing the
Yeah.
best they
Yes.
could.
Yeah,
yes,
they had
exactly.
financial issues that led
Exactly.
to a bigger problem.
And that's
for
exactly
sure.
why it's pet owners
Okay.
without enough resources.
Which just happened to go with your name, which is perfectly perfect, right? Power.
Okay.
And pet power, pet owners without enough resources turned into pets outside without enough resources in December, when I received contact from a young lady where her nanny had advanced dementia and there was a hoarding situation and the animals
Yes.
were placed outdoors in the cold. And Valerie, if you want to tell us the next part, how we came on board with the cat that went under the hood of
Well,
the car.
one cat went under somebody's vehicle
Just
and
get warm.
to get warm. And when they started the vehicle, the cat got caught. So RJ contacted me. I had a basket from shoppers that people were donating money to win, of course.
Yeah.
And we had already made quite a bit of money on it. So RJ asked me if we could put that money towards the cat to take to the vet. And I said, absolutely.
Nice.
So we met the couple at Shoppers and paid for their vet bill.
Oh wow.
How nice is that?
How many cats were in that? Was it all cats that were in that hoarding situation? I guess we'll call it.
So, do you remember going back to a little bit? I said, so it was pet owners, not resources. So I said, look, I'm not a cat trapper or rescuer. I can't say that anymore. But anyhow, cat trapper extraordinaire.
That's right.
So it was, I will supply some food to feed these animals because they originally thought there might have been about 30 cats. I took a lot of photos and I had a little system where I put a green check mark next to the ones we were captured and a red circle about the ones we didn't have because they all look alike. They all live together. So, and they're not feral, by the way.
Right.
They're well
they're
taken care of.
domesticated.
That's a plus.
More so.
Right there.
Yeah.
Not to
The
wild.
last count I had was 41, and we've rescued a few more with live traps since then.
Wow.
Is there
So-
anyone living in this
Not
home?
now, no,
exactly. There was
no.
an illness or something. I
Yes.
feel like I've known this story because I actually have family members who've picked up a couple of the cats. They're absolutely
They're
stunning,
gorgeous.
beautiful
Wow.
animals. Definitely look like they had been well cared for,
Yes.
but the numbers had overrun the ability for,
So
you
we're in
know.
the high 40s, and I went right to work. I brought the animal control officer with me. He was kind enough to come with me, and we brought one trap. We really didn't know we were bringing food.
Right.
And so I said, well, maybe
Was what you
we'll
went
see
there
what we-
for.
originally. And then when we went, it was the funniest thing because all he could do was go around in circles, kept saying, I'm not set up for this. And being me, it was, well, we've got to do something. So luckily for him, he was smart enough to say, let's get the babies, they're most vulnerable.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had one cage, he said, I'll take 5. And when he wasn't looking, it was a lot more than 5 he went home with. That being said, all animals, as of right now, I think I have 7 left from the pile. I call it the cat pile, by the way.
Okay.
That they're, that's what I call them.
Yeah.
That are not neutered or spayed. Every other one had been neutered, spayed. They had severe mites. The mites' ears are all cleared, and they're all clean going into
Okay.
good homes. And I
That's
mean,
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
huge thing right there because we know what that is when
Oh,
you
I
get
can't
the
even
mites having to be
imagine.
neutered and all that.
No.
Spayed.
So if people are in a situation or they think that there's a situation going on, how do they get a hold of you? What should they do?
I have a Facebook page. It's called Power for Pets, and also there's a telephone number that's on that page. And also, a lot of people are contacting us through Messenger. I have some. We call them the generators, being the name's Power, and there's everybody's name Jen. That's
Jen.
helping out, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's Jen Shattuck, Jen McIntyre, and Jen McTavish.
Wow.
Yes, and yeah, so they contact one of us, but usually if it's about adoption or anything, because we just don't give the cats to anybody. We have to make sure it's a safe forever home because they've been traumatized. We don't want them going back into that.
It's a good thing you do have these other people and Valerie to help out because you work pretty much full time.
Yeah.
You are an RN and you
Yes.
work shift work.
Yes.
And to get to balance it all out and to make sure that you're doing your job, which you're now fully invested in,
Yes.
you have to try to make room for everything.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a lot.
Even when I worked as a director of nursing prior to going back to being a shift on like a acute care nursing, and it was a lot of my time was driving out of town. So this way here, that was part of deciding with my husband's support, of course, that I would do this and have more time. But the time, I still don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Plus, I want to say we're going to get our 8th one after this. Valerie's
Yeah.
coming with me. Just local people that have cats outside that need homes that are freezing.
Wow.
No.
Yeah. My
Valerie,
first time in the
go
field.
Her first time in the field. She says, can I go get my coat and rubber boots?
So your focus up until now has been cats, correct?
Yes.
So so what if someone sees like a stray pup? Are you open to helping in that situation?
I would be stepping on the animal control officer's toes. They don't want to do that.
yes.
And I'm only teasing. No, he takes care of animals, and but it's just cats. And I'm yeah. But I would like to say that we're getting back into distributing the food. My husband has been helping me with. We're kind of doing little house calls because the way the food distribution goes is we're set up with a place. We've been very fortunate that somebody will donate time, 2 hours every 2 weeks, that people can come there. It's confidential.
Okay.
and they get their food and for their pets. And so very fortunate that Valerie's husband, Derek Underhill, has barbershop, yes, on, what's the address?
69 Newcastle Boulevard.
Okay. Yes, of course.
Always
Yeah.
looking for food, donations of any kind.
But
for
it's going
these
to be
pets.
like every second
Every
Sunday?
Sunday,
Every-
starting
yeah.
back this Sunday,
This
the
Sunday.
26th of January,
Yeah.
and it'll be every 2 weeks. We were doing that prior to this, and because I only formed Power for Pets November 24th, so it's still
Okay.
fairly new.
So it's almost like a food bank for
Yeah.
Yes,
Cats,
exactly.
yeah.
Pet
right
pantry.
or whatever
It's
when
exactly-
you're struggling financially to be able to, you want to keep your animal and their family and you love them, like, but sometimes that's just not always possible to be able to care for them like you would like to be able to.
But there's more. It's the cleaning of the mites and the bathing and the preparation.
Well, with
all
running
that.
into, now it's switched over to being somewhat of a rescue because
Yeah.
of this one particular situation you came across.
Which originally was just our goal was to help. The easy way was to say no.
Yes.
Right.
And so
For sure.
someone had to help this young lady when she reached out to me. Somebody helped that animal that was, at first she thought it was a stick stuck to its long fur, but it was its mangled leg that had frozen because of the cold weather.
Oh, my land.
She first contacted me the 18th of December, and by the 20th, I had got a hold of, we had $190
Yeah.
is what we had, because we were collecting food donations with the basket, and some people gave money. So I knew, and they laugh at me because I had a little tin can that I keep the money in. Because everything I said from get 100% goes to the animals, because we have no overhead. It's all volunteer work, we're nonprofit. It's-
Wonderful.
Everything
Right.
goes. So, and then her sister, who was the groomer at Tailwaggers, the customers there had been donating money. I didn't know.
They were very generous. Yeah.
So they presented me with $425.
Wow.
So that paid for the first the amputation was $331.25, and the rest is kind of history.
Wow. That's
So
a
Yeah,
now
because there'd be
this-
medication that went along with that
Yes.
after the surgery, right?
Yeah,
And
sure,
aftercare,
yeah.
definitely.
This is your big passion now, is it? Is this your
Yeah.
number one project aside from work? You've
Yeah.
fallen fully into this
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
being at the top of your hobby list now.
Yes.
And helping out.
Yeah.
You love
so
it.
how do people help you then?
Well, the gens, they helped me.
The gens.
The gens.
I love it.
call them the
Like the
gens.
Rockets.
Gens.
They're going to have their own
Gens.
Facebook page.
Yes. And I always tell Jen McTavish that she's the spirit of Freddie Mercury. I call her Freddie Mercury because she's there. She comes right on. She's been super, like with the rubber
funny.
boots and all, helping me
Yeah.
and help me catch the animals.
And it's cold out there, baby.
Yes,
Yeah.
baby, it's cold outside.
No, yeah.
Yes.
What about the feral animals now? Are you going anywhere near them, or because
We've
I'm
been
not going to
asked.
lie, I think we all know that unfortunately that is a huge issue here in Miramichi as well.
Yes,
Right?
it is. Miramichi and surrounding areas, and surprisingly enough, we're coming to see how many situations that there are. At this
Okay.
point, we kind of fell into this and we're going with it. We haven't
Okay.
been together long. I know, I just want to go back when you asked me how are they helping me.
Yeah.
Any other fundraising, Jen McIntyre spends endless hours, trying to do 50-50s. We're going to be doing that right after today's show.
Okay.
We're going to be doing a draw. So it's all about, we've got a fostering network happening. And so we have 4 foster moms and 2 foster dads. And we had our first foster fail 2 hours into the fostering last evening. He caved and he adopted.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he
Okay.
fostered.
Failed in a good way. You had me panic there. I'm like, what?
We just all joke about that. We say foster fail.
Yeah.
So So
How
we-
nice for the families
But
to
can they?
receive new
Yeah.
cats.
Oh, for sure. Can they donate food if they want to, or money,
people-
or whatever?
You go on our
Food,
page and you'll
litter?
see. Well, I've even had a net donated by one young couple that came to adopt a cat for their young family, because I have the one I have is borrowed. Cat carriers, kitty litter. People of Miramichi have been fabulous, and I just can't.
I know, they're so kind in general, really.
Well, and you
It
forget
is.
how many things are involved, right? I never even thought of like the cat carrier or the net, or I'm just like, well, I can go buy some food.
Shampooing your cats regularly, keeping them clean in your home, all of that stuff. It's expensive running. It's expensive to own any animal.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're happy little creatures now. They all have some great homes.
And it's not a matter of getting them, putting them in a crate, and they stay. There's a process to it. We have a system, and we socialize them. And a lot of them, as you've seen, are long-haired. So we have spa time, spa hour.
Spa time.
Oh my.
And it's Alexa Soft Rock, Volume 3, and at night it goes to Soft Music, Volume 2.
Okay.
So they get to hear people's voices all the time.
Yeah,
in music.
exactly.
And sometimes for those that are really afraid, it's a matter of just even laying on the floor, and those that are more friendly will climb on me.
Yeah.
And
you got to integrate them back in because
Yes.
they've been alone.
I just can't even imagine. I have enough with my 2 dogs at home. Like
Yeah,
they're
me too.
they're
Some
like
people think cats are easy, that they don't care whether you're there or you're not there, but that's not the case.
personalities. I had one that was sick, and it was amazing. I had worked a 12-hour shift, and I came home, and I knew she wasn't well, and she had had antibiotics. She had sustained a little bite on her belly that wasn't well. And I wouldn't know, like I don't flip them around, nor are they going to let me flip them around when I get them. And so when I came home, I knew she wasn't well, so I bundled her up in her little blanket, and I sat in one of the steps, and they all came around.
oh my goodness.
Heartwarming. They
Wow,
all
I
look
just-
for
I can't
each
even-
other.
I can't even imagine. Like I said, I have enough with my 2 dogs at home,
Well, I'm so
that's- I
highly
can't-
allergic. I couldn't. I'd love to be able to have cats around, but I can't.
No, exactly.
So that was a little
That's
bit of
just it.
a heartbreaking kind of a, but then you could say, how did the girls help me? And well, they were there to encourage me, say, look, there's 40 that we saved. And so, if there was one, and if we, and at least it
No.
yeah, so
40.
Save them all.
You're doing a great job, and it's
No,
getting
it's
out there.
incredible.
People are talking about your work and your
Yes.
help and all
Definitely.
the animals being so lucky. And
and it's
Yeah.
positive, and it's
Positive.
all of it's
You're getting
positive.
positive feedback from the
Yes, and
community
they're
and
enjoying
different
it.
things
It's
like
work.
that.
It's and
No.
like I said, when I walked in and saw what I did, I can't say I hope I never see it again, because it's been an experience.
No.
it's rewarding.
Well, we want to
Very
thank you
rewarding.
for coming on the show today
Thank
and
you.
filling us all in. We wish you the best of luck
going.
Thank you.
at moving forward with this, and that you get all the help and the volunteers that you need, and for our viewers to keep you in
Yes.
mind if they want to help and volunteer, and to make this something that is that can
Permanent.
be
Yeah.
that would be definitely a
Education.
great
Check out
idea.
We want to get
No,
yes, we
Good
want-
job, girls.
Definitely.
Thank you so
you,
much for
RJ.
having us.
Thank
Power
you,
on.
Valerie.
Yes,
Just
yes,
a
power on.
like Bob Barker, know to
Yes.
your pets.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you for joining us here at Have a Chat. Have a great day. We'll join you again next week.